Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to your final maths lesson of the week. I'm really impressed with everyone's maths work this week, and today we're going to continue finding missing angles, but this time we're going to be focusing on scalene triangles. Before we go any further though, I just want to share two fantastic pieces of work that I found on Seesaw. The first piece of work belongs to Nura in Sheffield class. What I absolutely love about her arithmetic presentation is the way that she's used a ruler when she's doing her long multiplication. She's marked each of the answers carefully and accurately, and she's just taken real care to make sure that the presentation of her work is as fantastic as it would have been at school. So well done. The second piece of work is Ishak's from Kent class. The reason I want you to show you Ishak's work is because he's really carefully shown me every single calculation that he has done. And in that way, I can see that he exactly knew and understood how to find the answers, and he got all of those questions correct. So, see if you can learn something from Nura and Ishak. Maybe it's about using a ruler to do your long multiplication, or maybe you're going to start including your working out when you upload your work. Whatever it is, every day we can make our work even better than the previous day. Right, so for today, you're going to start with your arithmetic. See if you can make yours absolutely beautiful, see if you can show all of your working out, and see if you can remember to use a ruler. It's time to pause the video and answer these 6 questions on your paper. Everybody please pause the video now and answer these 6 questions. Okay, if you haven't yet done those 6 questions, you need to pause the video because I'm about to go through the answers. Okay, multiplying by 100, you should have got 46,201. When doing 60 times 50, be careful. I know 6 times 5 is already 30. I then know that's 10 times bigger and that's 100 times bigger. So in total, that will be 1,000 times bigger, not 1,000. There's not going to be 3 zeros, there's going to be 3 extra zeros. So that's 30,000. If you said 3,000, you forgot about the 0 that already belonged to the product 30. Okay, 7 times 3 times 0, anything times 0 is 0, so whatever order you do it in, you'll end up with 0. 2.5 take away 2 would leave us with just 2. 2.5 times 4 is 10. I'm going to show you the 2 ways that would have been the quickest way to do that. Firstly, you could have done the multiplication method. So I want to make that into a top-heavy fraction. 2 times 2 is 4, add 1 is 5, that's 5 over 2, times 4 over 1. 5 times 4 is equal to 20, and 2 over 1 is 2 times 1 is equal to 2. But remember, we can't leave that as a top-heavy fraction. We've got to convert it. 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. The second method you could use is just like this. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. 1/2 times 4, remember, is a half of 4 is equal to 2. If I add those together, that will equal 10. So 2 different methods you could have found your answer there. And finally, for your dividing fractions, don't forget to keep, flip and change so that in the end you're doing 1/5 times 4/3 to get 4 over 15. Right, it's time to pause the video and have a go at these reasoning questions. These reasoning questions are based on our last topic of statistics. So pause the video, there's just 4 questions to do in total. So please have a go at these 4 reasoning questions now. All right, if you haven't yet answered all 4 questions, please make sure you pause the video because I'm going to go through the answers. How many children are there in total? In order to answer this question, I need to add up all of the children in each bar. Children who had shoe size 3 is in between 12 and 14, so that's 13. Children who had shoe size 4 is in between 6 and 8, so that's 7. Here we can see we're on 14 and here 10. Let's add them up then. 13 add 7 is 20, add 14 is 34. Add 10 would give us 44 in total. How many more children are shoe size 5 than 4? We know that the phrase how many more means we're subtracting. So I need to find out how many children are shoe size 5. I've already written that it's 14. Subtract shoe size 4. I've already written that it's 7. 14 take away 7 is equal to 7. Okay, how many children are there in total? The quickest way to do this is add up your total groups of 5 first. 5, 10, 15, and 20. Now I'm going to add up my ones. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. There are 30 children in total. The next question says, how many fewer children like cricket than hockey? And we know that this how many fewer, just like how many more, means we're comparing to find the difference, so it's subtraction. How many children liked hockey? That's 5, 10, 11, 12. 12 children, take away the number of children who like cricket, which was 3. 12 take away 3 is equal to 9. So we're looking for 9 fewer children. Well done if you got all 4 of those reasoning questions correct. It's now time to write your date and WALT on your piece of paper. You need to write the date and WALT, and then you'll find you've got 2 do now questions. Question 1 is very similar to the work we did yesterday. Make sure you find the whole and then take away what you already know. Question 2 is a little bit more challenging because you've got to think a tiny bit more carefully about what your whole is. But again, you're looking for that unknown value. Please pause the video now and try and find those 2 values. Okay, if you haven't yet done the do now questions, you need to pause the video and have a go at them because I'm about to go through the answers. For question 1, I need to identify my whole. That's a right angle, and I know a right angle has 90 degrees. I'm now taking away what I know, which is 71 degrees. I'm going to regroup. 10 take away 1 is 9, and 8 take away 7 is 1. 19 degrees. Don't forget your degrees symbol, otherwise your answer's wrong. Add it in if you forgot it. For this question here, you had all sorts of information, but really the only thing I cared about was the fact that I could see a straight line and 2 angles around that straight line. So I'd start with the whole of 180 degrees. I need to take away 104 from 180. Again, you can use a formal method or you can use a mental method. For me, I'd probably use a mental method. 180 take away 100 is 80. Now take away 4, 76 degrees. Angle X was 76 degrees. Well done if you got those 2 questions correct. We're now ready to move on to today's learning. For today's learning, the first thing that I'm going to do is prove to you how many degrees there are in a triangle. Some of you may already know how many degrees there are in a triangle, but I'm just going to show you why that is first. So in front of me, I have a triangle. And what I've done is I've coloured in all of my external angle, or my interior angles. So this one, and this one are the 3 angles of the triangle. We're going to find out what those 3 angles add up to. And in order to do this, I'm actually going to chop off my angles. So I'm chopping off each of those angles. This is why I coloured my angles in pink so that I could remember which one is the angle that I was looking at. I'm now going to get my angles and I'm going to glue them together so that they're all pointing in the same direction. So you've got my first angle here, my second angle is going to join up there. And again, these are the pink bits that I said were the angles that we were looking at to begin with. And my final angle from the triangle is going here. Now, what do you notice about these 3 angles from the triangle when we stick them together? What has that made? Well done if you've spotted that altogether that creates one straight line. And we know angles on a straight line are equal to 180 degrees. So if you spotted that was 180 degrees, well done. Now that actually works, that trick, for every single different triangle. Any triangle you have, if you chop off your interior angles and glue them together, it will make a straight line. So a little challenge for those of you who want to, try that at home with a piece of paper. Cut out a triangle, colour in the interior angles so you know where they are, and glue them together. See if you too can make a straight line. So what have we done there? We've learned that the angles inside of a triangle are equal to 180 degrees, just like a straight line. That means if we've got a missing angle in a triangle, there's just the same steps as yesterday in order to work out what that missing angle is. Step 1, identify the whole. We've just worked out that the angles inside a triangle are 180 degrees. I need to take away the parts that I do know, which is 34 degrees and 47 degrees, in order to find what I'm looking for. Today, I'm going to recommend that you all add up first and then subtract that total. So my first step is going to be 34 add 47. Right, if you're doing this on your paper, I'm going to urge you today to use a ruler just like Nora did so that we can make ours as beautiful as hers. So first I'm doing 34 add 47. 4 add 7 is equal to 11. 1 add 3 add 4 is equal to 8. So if I add those 2 numbers up, I'm left with 81 degrees. Okay, my next step then, add up the angles you know. I now need to subtract from the whole. I'm subtracting the total of the 2, so I'm doing 180 take away 81. Again, at this point, you might decide that it's actually easier to solve this question with a mental method. 180 take away 80 is 100. Now take away 1, and you're left with 99 degrees. Let's have a look at the next question then. Step 1, identify the hole. This is another triangle, so I know my hole has to be 180 degrees. I'm looking for angle S here. So first, I need to add up the angles that I do know. That, in this example, is 90, add 25. In your work today, I expect to see both calculations to show what you're doing. If you've done a mental calculation to do 90 add 25, you just need to write out what you did like this. 90 add 25 is equal to, and put your answer there. If you used a written method, write it out using the written method. So 0 add 5 is equal to 5, and 9 add 2 is equal to 11. That's my first calculation. Calculation number 1. Calculation number 2 then is to subtract from the whole. 180 take away 115. So in your work today, I should see both calculations written down. 0 subtract 5 isn't possible, I'll regroup. 10 take away 5 is 5, 7 take away 1 is 6, and 1 take away 1 is 0. The angle I'm looking for is 65 degrees. Okay, it's your turn to try this one. Remember, I want to see two calculations. Your first calculation will be an addition, and your second calculation a subtraction. Identify the whole, add up what you know, and subtract it from the whole. Please pause the video and try question 1 on your piece of paper. Make sure you label it clearly as question 1, and remember I need to see both calculations. Right, you should have finished this question, and we're going to quickly go through how you could have done it now. Step 1, adding together 79 and 14. 9 add 4 is equal to 13, 7 add 1 is 8, add another 1 is 93. Okay, now I'm going to do 180 take away 93. Again, I would probably use a mental method here. 180 take away 90 is 90, now take away 3, and you're left with 77 degrees. So the answer to this question should have been 77 degrees. Let's look at the next question then. This one you're going to do as well, question 2. If you got the last question wrong, please go back and rewatch my video where I'm going through the first 2 questions. Watch it one more time so you're really confident with your 3 steps. Identify the whole, add up what you know, subtract from the whole. Pause the video and have a go at question 2. Okay, so you should have finished question 2. Now I'm going to go through your answers. The whole is 180 degrees. First, I need to add up what I know. That's 47 and 65. 47, add 65. 7 add 5 is 12. 4 add 6 is 10, add 1 is 11. So that's 112 degrees. Let's take that away from the whole. 0 take away 2 is not possible. 10 take away 2 is 8. 8 take away 1 is 6, and 1 take away 1 is 0. So my missing angle was 68 degrees. Well done if you said 68 degrees, and don't forget to put your degrees sign. If you've written down both of your calculations and you got that question wrong, please work out if you got your addition step wrong or your subtraction step wrong, because it's important to know what you're finding tricky before moving on. Right, you might come across questions like this, where you're looking for angle B and you're only given one of the angles. Take a moment now to think how I could find what that other angle is worth. Have a little think. Well done those of you who spotted this square. If you see that square around an angle rather than a circular shape, what that actually means is that's a right angle, so we know it's exactly 90 degrees. So for this question, I identify my whole 180 degrees. Add up what you know. 90, add 40, I'm going to use a mental method for this, so I'll write it out like this, is 130. But remember, even if you're using a mental method, write it out. 180 take away 130 degrees then, 0 take away 0 is 0, 8 take away 3 is 5, and 1 take away 1 is 0. 50 degrees. Right, you may get a reasoning problem. Which triangles are missing a right angle? I'm going to go through how I do this for question A, and then you're going to decide if question B and question C are also missing a right angle. If this is a right angle, I know it will be exactly 90 degrees. So if I add up all 3 of those numbers, I need to know whether or not it's the right number for a triangle. So I do 90, add 50, that's 140, and add 30 degrees. 140 add 30 is 170 degrees. Can that be correct? Are the angles in a triangle ever going to equal 170 degrees? No, because they're always 180. Therefore, this one is not missing a triangle. Do the same thing for question C and question B and decide if they're missing a right angle, which we know is 90 degrees. Pause the video now and do a quick mental calculation. Okay, 30 add 60 is equal to 90 degrees. What do I add to 90 to make 180? Or what's 180 take away 90? You're right, it's 90 degrees. Triangle B was missing a right angle. Let's try question C then. 70 add 20 is equal to 90. So once again, I'm left deciding, do I add 90 and 90 together to make 180? Yes, I do. Triangle C was also missing 90 degrees. Okay, can you have a quick go at this question then? This is question 3 on your worksheet or on your piece of paper. What I want you to do is decide which triangle is missing an acute angle. Acute. I'm going to give you a little clue here. Cute. Think of something that's really cute, and what does that tell you about the angle you're looking for? So in a similar way, find this missing angle and decide, is it acute? I should see really 3 calculations for each of those, and then at the end your answer where you say triangle and are missing an acute angle. Have a go at this one quickly, please. Pause the video. Okay, if you haven't yet solved this question by finding those missing angles and deciding whether or not they're missing an acute angle, you need to pause the video now. I'm going to go through how you could have done it, but remember, you have to have a go first. Step 1, what is the missing angle in each of these? Right, 50 add 40 is equal to 90 degrees. Subtract 180, subtract 90 is equal to 90 degrees. This is missing 90 degrees. Is 90 degrees an acute angle? What do you think? Well done if you said no. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. 90 degrees is equal to 90 degrees, and so it's not acute. Okay, let's try this one. 30 add 40 is equal to 70. 180 take away 70 is 110. Is 110 degrees an acute angle? Well done if you said no, it's not less than 90. So finally, your last one. 60 add 70 is 130 degrees. 180 take away 130 is 50. Is 50 an acute angle? Yes. Well done. You should have written as a sentence, triangle C has an acute angle. It was the only one with an acute angle. Well done for this question if you had all of your calculations and your final answer saying triangle C. Good job. All right, what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and try these questions. You need to write question 4 to question 12 down on your piece of paper, but this is not the end of the video. There's more questions after this. So once you've finished it, please continue listening to the video. So pause the video and try these few questions, and then we'll find out what's happening next. Right, you should have done the 8 questions that are on the board. Remember, there are 2 steps. First, you add them up, and then you need to subtract. I'm going to show you now a challenge question. If you want to, I want you to pause this video and have a go at this challenge. It says, which triangles' angles do not add up correctly? In which triangles do the angles not add up correctly? Again, you do your calculations and then you'd write a sentence, in triangle, the angles don't add up correctly. This challenge is optional, so you only have to do it if you would like to. Okay. Question 14 is also a challenge question. I want you to find out what angle C is. But as you can see, you have to do a couple of steps to get to angle C. You need to think really carefully about the information you've got and how you can use it to find the missing angle in this question. So if you're feeling brave and if you're feeling like you really understand this, have a go at this challenge. I'm going to now go through the answers to all of the other questions, so make sure you have at least solved these questions and maybe had a go at these 2 challenges. Let's find out what the answers were then. I'm just going to put the answers to these questions up on the board because we've seen lots of examples and we know what the 2 steps are. Please can you make sure that you're marking your work independently and honestly. It doesn't matter if you didn't get every single question correct. I don't expect you to get 100%, but I do expect you to mark your work independently and honestly. Right. Let's now have a look at those challenges. So for these questions, all you needed to do was add up all of your angles to find out whether or not they were equal to 180. So 62 add 42, I know is 104, then I'd add on 76. Yep, that's 180, so triangle A. Okay, straight away in this one, I can see it won't be 180 degrees. Let me tell you why. This is 90 degrees. In 180, the ones column should be 0. 5 add 6 add 0 is 11. Therefore, this cannot add up to 180. Okay, let's have a look at this one then. 45 degrees add 67 degrees. 5 add 7 is 12. 4 add 6 add 1 is 112. Now let's add on 68 degrees. 2 add 8 is 10. 1 add 1 add 6 is 8, and 1 is 180. So triangles A and C were correct triangles. Well done if you did that challenge and got that one correct. Let's have a look at the next one then. I'm really impressed if you were resilient enough to have a go at this question. Thank you to those of you who are still watching the video and tried this really hard challenge. Right, we were looking for angle C. In order to get to angle C, first I need to find angle A. The knowledge I need for angle A is not actually anything to do with triangles. I need to revisit yesterday's learning to find angle A. I need to remember how many degrees on a straight line. 180 degrees on a straight line. If I have a straight line here, I just need to do 180 take away 120 degrees to find angle A. Angle A was 60 degrees. Okay, now I know angle A is 60 degrees, I can use that to find angle C. 40 add 60 is 100. 180 take away 100 is equal to 80 degrees. If you said angle C was 80 degrees, well done. You are a home learning hero. Okay, please don't forget to mark all of your work. If you need to, just go back through the video, take a picture of it and upload it onto Seesaw. If you haven't yet done your morning arithmetic and reasoning, please go back and do that now. I'll see you next week. Well done for all of your hard work this week. All of the adults at school are incredibly impressed with you, and I'm sure your parents are too. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.